The Congress has its hopes that Madhya Pradesh can be another Karnataka for the party, but can it really be the case? I'm Barkha Dutt, you're with the Mojo story. On this special broadcast today, we will be looking at the results of one of the first major opinion polls out of the state. We're looking at the ABP C voter numbers that actually point to a neck-and-neck battle in the state. What is fascinating, of course, is that seen through vote shares, you are looking at a near identical vote share projection at the moment for both the BJP and the Congress. How do the seats break down? How do the popularity of individual leaders, Shivraj Singh Chouhan being challenged by kamalnath, what does that image look like? And above all, can Hindutva work in a state where even the Congress leadership is trying to appropriate it? Kamalnath has made no apologies for embracing the politics of at least soft Hindutva. What does it all break down to in terms of data and numbers? That is the very interesting question before us today. Let's introduce our guests as we look at the ABP C voter survey, the first major opinion poll out of what is promising to be a fascinating assembly election later this year. Joining us is political analyst and journalist Varun Singh. Always a pleasure. Joining us from Madhya Pradesh is the BJP senior leader and spokesperson Pankaj Chaturvedi. Namaskar, Pankaj ji. Also joining us from Madhya Pradesh today is resident editor of the Dainik Bhaskar, Upmita. Good to see Upmita. Also joining us from the Congress is its leader and spokesperson Anshul Trivedi. Namaskar, Anshul ji. Good to see you. And finally, back with us today is our favorite Psephologist, Pandit Yashwant Deshmukh, who of course led that ABP C voter survey. Before I get first comments from our political guests, I think, Yashwant, it would be in order for us to look at the big picture of what your survey has found. Again, health warning, this is an opinion poll. A lot can happen. A lot can happen in politics in the run-up to the actual election. But let's take a look. Let's start with the numbers, in fact, and let's take a look at the overall pictures. It's a neck-and-neck battle, and I want Yashwant, I'm going to hand it over to you for just a moment to take a look at both the seat projection and the vote share. So it's over to you, Yashwant.
Well, Barkha, overall, it certainly looks like neck and neck, but as you will go through the data at the regional level, you realize that there are 6 different regions in Madhya Pradesh, and all 6 of them are behaving in a very, very distinct and very, what shall I say, in politically, it's a very characteristically political way of different regions that they define the politics of Madhya Pradesh. So on the whole of the state, 44, 44, 2 and 10, one thing which you must understand, this is something for all of our viewers to understand, is that Madhya Pradesh, although always said that it is a bipolar state, but it hasn't been a bipolar. There were always a significant, almost like 20% vote share going to smaller parties like BSP and other smaller parties as well. But what is happening here, that we see now a concrete trend of bipolarization where the vote share of BSP and the smaller parties are also kind of getting, diminished, and they are getting kind of divided between the Congress and the BJP in the 2 major camps. But as we go ahead, Barkha, from here, from the regional variations, it will be very clear that there are certain regions where BJP is losing really, really badly. There are certain strongholds where, in spite of the anti-incumbency wave, the Congress is unable to make gains in those BJP territories. And then there are 2 regions which are absolutely neck and neck, which are going right down the line.
Yashwant, we'll bring up those regional numbers in a moment from now. I just want you to comment on the big picture. Would it be fair to say neck and neck with slight advantage to the Congress at this point? But
that would be a fair assessment, because almost 20 years of incumbency, barring that 1.5 years of Mr. Kamalnath, when he became the chief minister after the last election, 20 years of incumbency is a really, really long time, Barkha. And even after that, if BJP is maintaining 40% plus vote share, that shows the organizational strength of BJP in the Madhya Pradesh. For the viewers to understand and remember that people remember Gujarat as the BJP's, organizational or the bastion or like that. But way before Gujarat, right from the 1952, it was the Madhya Bharat territory of the erstwhile Jansangh, which was the organizational backbone of the BJP or the Bharatiya Janasangh. So this state is pretty much for the BJP as not a leader specific, candidate specific state, but it is a state which they have been winning purely on their organizational strength.
Before I go to Pankaj and Anshul ji, the BJP and Congress leaders for their first responses, Yashwant, we'll take one more slide from your survey. Who is the individual who has the most popularity for the Chief Minister's post? And if we can bring up that slide now, and as it's coming up, Yashwant, of course, Shivraj Singh, the battle very clearly seems to be between Shivraj Singh Chouhan and kamalnath. And if you look at these numbers, they're very interesting. Shivraj Singh Chouhan or Mamaji as he's called, is just 1 percentage point right now in popularity ahead of kamalnath, who's really fighting the election of his life, as it were. We should also remind our viewers that this was an election that kamalnath was actually the Congress was able to win, but then when Scindia broke away, the situation became very different. How do you look at these numbers on your screen in terms of individual brand popularity?
Well, this is pretty much from the Congress scenario, pretty much like Karnataka situation, Barkha. You remember the Siddaramaiah numbers and DK Shivkumar numbers. Precisely those are mirroring here, like for Kamalnath and Mr. Digvijay Singh. So I guess that entire Congress rank and file right now is completely behind Mr. Kamalnath. There is no question or no confusion whatsoever as far as the Congress camp is concerned. However, in the BJP camp,
especially when you look at the popularity numbers for Digvijay Singh, I mean, he has no basis really, unlike
he is just like DK Shivkumar. You remember DK Shivkumar was trending only at 2%, 3% during the Karnataka elections. So people are very clear. But as far as BJP camp is concerned, yes, Shivraj Singh Chouhan is runaway number one, no doubt about that. But the confusion between the BJP rank and file is largely because of the merger of Mr. Scindia's faction into the BJP, and this 12% might look good to him, but as you will see when we discuss the regional things, actually the biggest disaster for the BJP is coming in the Chambal region, which is the territory of Mr. Scindia.
We'll discuss that in a couple of moments from now, the region-wise breakdown. I just want Pankaj ji and Anshul ji to come in with their first thoughts. Pankaj ji, as a BJP leader, aap kya kahenge? The fact is there is incumbency to deal with, and these numbers, some would say, are pretty good given that incumbency. Lekin Congress ko, Yashwant ji ke mutabik, halka sa advantage hai. Abhi advantage hai. And aap kya kahenge, Pankaj ji?
Barkha ji, Yashwant ji is a very experienced person as far as the Psephologist is concerned. And he has his standards, he has his pattern, he has his process where he measures these kind of things. But one thing is very clear, after 20 years, if Congress is unable to surpass the BJP, it shows the strength of the BJP. And last year, in the last election, what has happened? In 2018, we have a higher percentage than BJP, and it was a difference of just 5 seats. BJP were 109 and Congress was 114. They were unable to achieve the absolute majority mark, which is 116. And we are very much sure, with respect to Yashwant ji and his team and their efforts, we are very much sure that we will garner the 51% vote at every booth. That is our target. Ab ki baar 200 par, that is our slogan. And for that, we have a planning. Few days back, PM was in Bhopal. He has addressed more than 1 million booth workers of the entire BJP of India, including Madhya Pradesh. Our target is very simple. Our all booths across Madhya Pradesh, we have around 64,000 and more booths in Madhya Pradesh. All have digitalized as well as physicalized. We have the entire update of every team, and that is the most important thing as far as the election polling day is concerned. And that is the real strength of BJP. Along with that, we are focusing on 2 things. One is development, other one is delivery of development. 19.76 the growth rate, highest among the 28 states. 19% of agricultural growth rate. Per capita income, it was 11,000. It was the Bantara Digvijay Singh. Now it is 1,40,000. We are doing wonders in many areas. What was the common slogan of Kamalnath ji? Barkha ji says, give me 30 seconds. What Kamalnath ji used to say, Mama khajana khali kar gaya. The state exchequer is empty. Now Shivraj Singh Chouhan has made wonders. He has done miracles with the same state exchequers. He has never cried like Kamalnath ji said, ki khajana khali hai. We have a proper
Pankaj, I want to ask you something, and I'll come to Anshul after that. One of the other questions that Yashwant's team posed for the ABPC voter survey is, what is the biggest issue for people, right? Since you've spoken about development, and if we can have that slide up. And if I'm not wrong, and we'll just confirm that in the slide, a majority of people put unemployment at the top of their answers, right? So the point is here you can see 33.1% said unemployment is the most important issue, and followed by local issues, rising prices, and corruption. So आपने ये तो ठीक कहा कि corruption is not the top of the issue for voters, but unemployment is. Please respond to this.
What is employment? First, we have to understand the employment. The common approach, the normal tendency is to get the government job is the employment. That is not the right thing. We are trying to change the perception. We are saying it's better to be self-employed. It's better to give employment to others. That's why government is the only government who is organizing Rozgar Mela, employment melas. We are connecting as a bridge between the employer and the employee. We are the state who is going to fulfill the 1 lakh government vacancies up to 31st August 2023.
Okay.
And why we are growing? If it is unemployment in Madhya Pradesh, let's see the figures of the Rajasthan. We have 2% unemployment, while Rajasthan has 80% of employment. It's a huge difference.
No,
You just see the Chhattisgarh. What is the scene of employment over there?
Every state has its own dynamics. Our democracy is so interesting. हर प्रदेश की अपने dynamics होते हैं, अपनी सच होती है, अपने facts होते हैं. Let me get in Anshul ji of the Congress Party. Anshul ji, Pankaj ji makes the point कि अगर 20 साल बाद भी contest इतना close है, then that reflects on the fact that the BJP is still very strong. What would you say, Anshul ji?
No, I'd concur with Yashwant ji saying that when he said that it's been an organizational base historically for the BJP, and that reflects in the vote share. But if you go back to 2018, we won the election. We were in government. We were delivering on our promises. We had waived off farm loans for our farmers. And if it were not for the unscrupulous behavior of Mr. Scindia, who rebelled, we would have been going in with a great mandate to the people. Now, this is still 4-5 months to the election. And I'm pretty sure as the elections approach, the bipolarity, the anti-incumbency, the proven corruption, and the tiredness of the voter, and the positive image of Mr. Kamalnath is going to add to our advantage, and we're going to win. I'll not entertain a lot of things that Pankaj ji was saying, because basically, I mean, they were baseless in the sense that if we are growing, how can we not have jobs? I mean, there is a very big phenomenon called jobless growth, and that's a very big issue. Price rise is a bigger issue. And I think that given the unity, the unprecedented unity within the Congress, wherein everyone is aligned behind Mr. Kamalnath, that is why I would like to disagree with Mr. Deshmukh when he compared it to Karnataka, because D.K. Shivkumar was an aspirant to the Chief Minister's post. But Mr. Digvijay Singh has been going around in every rally, in every meeting, and he's been saying that our candidate Kamalnath. On the contrary, in BJP today, you see that there are multiple claimants to the post. And the fact that Scindia commands 12% of the vote, I think that this time around, the BJP will hesitate in projecting Mamaji as the CM candidate, because people are frankly tired of him.
Pankaj ji, do you want to respond very briefly to that before I ask Yashwant to take us through the regions? Is Shivraj Singh Chouhan the undisputed leader of the BJP in Madhya Pradesh? Is he the undisputed?
Do you think
I don't think so, but it's my job to ask.
There is no doubt. He is the most popular face, very strong base leader of Madhya Pradesh. And Yashwant ji is also saying he is able to get 37% of voters, more than Kamalnath ji. And my point is very clear. Last time what has happened when Congress has gone, it was just 114. They were unable to get the 116 mark. They were dependent on the support of the independent and others. And what has happened, 28 MLAs, rather 26 has resigned, 2 has died. 26 has resigned. They have resigned from the Congress MLA-ship, opted the BJP symbol, faced the public, and they won again. It's a fair democracy.
Let me get quick responses from.
Can I just quickly intervene, and then you can take another question?
Sure.
You see, all this question of vote share and everything. In the last Karnataka election, we had more vote share than the BJP, but the BJP broke away and formed the government. So let's not have double standards there.
We are in a parliamentary system, which Westminster democracy, which simply means first past the post takes the seat. Vote share often doesn't tell us the complete story, though it gives you some sense of a party's pan-state, pan-country sort of organizational influence. I'm sure Yashwant can explain that better. Quick comments from Varun and Upmita before we look at the regions. Varun, Kamalnath is another great survivor. For lack of a better word, I think he's another great survivor. He's an old-style politician who seems to have understood some of the new shifting trends of Indian politics. Quick comment there, Varun.
I find Kamalnath more Hindu than many of the BJP leaders these days.
Can you hold? Can you hold that? Can you hold that thought? Can you hold? I have a slide to show you from Yashwant's survey. I was planning to keep it for later, but you said that you find him more Hindu than many of the Hindutva leaders. And ABP C voter asked the voters of Madhya Pradesh, whose Hindutva do you trust more? Shivraj Singh Chouhan's Hindutva or Kamal Nath's? And 44% more people trust Kamal Nath's Hindutva than Shivraj Singh Chouhan. So I thought this was a really fascinating slide. Varun, go ahead. Yeah.
So yeah, as I was saying, more than Shivraj Singh Chouhan, Narottam Mishra comes as a hardliner. But Narottam Mishra can be, said something like a leader on Twitter and social media, and his ground presence is very limited. So that is the reason why probably Shivraj Singh Chouhan is still the face. If Narottam Mishra, he won last election by a margin of about 2,600 something. And there is some good news for the BJP over here, because if you see 36 plus 12 is around 37 plus 12 is 49%. So BJP CM 49% people want, while a Congress 37. And Digvijay, I don't know where exactly he is, what exactly he's doing.
Let's go back to that same slide.
Own MP.
Yeah. So
because he couldn't own MP seat. One small thing, Barkha. Just one small thing I wanted to add: the Congress is taking very good decisions when it comes to Chhattisgarh, but over here in MP, they have failed to catch on all those corruption issues. They have forgotten Gyapan, they have forgotten those ISI arrest, agent arrest, which were connected to the BJP. If they rake in all those issues, probably unlike this phone pay CM thing that has come, which looks like a copy from Karnataka, which happened yesterday in Madhya Pradesh, they need to rethink. They are doing very good in Chhattisgarh. You see, T. Singh Dev. I should commend Congress that they have got good advisors finally.
Let me bring in Upmita. Sorry, Anshul, give me half a second. I'll just bring in Upmita and then I'll come to you. Upmita, you're on the ground. आप बिल्कुल ज़मीन पे हैं. What are you picking up?
I think the slide which shows that choice for MP CM is Shivraj Singh Chouhan. I think he's just because there's a concept called politician by habit. You've been seeing him for so long that people on ground feels that acha mama hi hai. Mama they don't imagine ki next kya hoga. And the very important factor is the freebies, Ladli Lakshmi Yojana. It's a very big freebie kind of thing which they've been copying from Karnataka. They on ground what we feel is that they're copying everything, they're taking things from every state. They're taking Hindutva from Yogi. They're taking like Shivraj Singh is behaving a lot like Yogi. He picks up everything which Yogi does.
Even the bulldozers. Even the bulldozers.
Right. Yeah. So everything they want to copy from Yogi, the Hindutva lines and all, the Mahakal Lok, the Mandirs, the Dharmic Loks. Like we have some 7 Loks being under construction, under planning here in Madhya Pradesh. So Hindutva is a very big issue which they are going to play, and this is the only thing they can do in at the last moment when there's just 4 months left to the elections. The second thing is they're going to be the candidates. The candidate is the most important factor which is going to affect and which is going to change this poll as well. And even if it's for Congress or for BJP, the candidates are going to be very important. Like Kamal Nath, you were talking, Kamal Nath is he's working as a corporate. He's sending surveys. He's hiring lots of agencies to do a survey, and then on basis of the Excel sheets, he decides what is going to be the factors, what is going to be the candidates and all. And on the second, Vijay is going on ground. He's taking notes on his papers. Like we watch every time when he's sitting in a meeting on a public function, he's taking some notes. He's sitting in the with the ground people and all. But when it comes to Kamal Nath, Shivraj is he's connected to the ground. He's going and he's meeting people and all. But Kamal Nath, still people feel that factor is missing on his side, that he's not meeting people on ground.
Hold that thought. You're basically saying that although Kamal Nath is almost as popular in Yashwant survey. Shivraj Singh Chouhan is still seen as कि वो ज़मीन के साथ ज़्यादा जुड़े हुए हैं. That is the
Exactly.
feedback we're getting from Upmita of Dainik Bhaskar. I want to come back to Yashwant, but Anshul, you had a brief interjection. Please go ahead, Anshul.
I mean, one or two things that I wanted to say was that this, when Varun said about that Hindutva thing, that question is wrongly framed. Let's understand what Hindutva is. Hindutva is the weaponization of faith for political mobilization, whereas accepting, recognizing, and celebrating faith has got nothing to do with Hindutva. Hindutva is when you take bulldozers and you know, before proving guilt, you bulldoze people's property. But when you make a Ram Vanpad Gaman, that is not Hindutva. That is just recognizing faith. It's, you know, in a democracy, you respect and recognize people's faith. So this is a wrongly posed question. That is number one. Number two, I'd like to say that pay CM and not picking up issues. I think that, you know, in Delhi, you're not getting the vibe of what's going on the ground there. On the ground, price rise and corruption issues and localized corruption issues are very big, very huge. And maybe you're not getting them. You need to have better sources on the ground, Varun, because we are taking this campaign to the people and there is huge resonance. This PCM was it came on Twitter, but that does not mean anything.
I want to take your first point to Yashwant, which is the framing of the question. It's his survey, and I think he can talk a little bit. As I understand, it's a shorthand. You know, the Congress has not typically been associated with Hindu identity politics as an electoral issue. This is a state, Yashwant. If we just go back to that slide for a moment, whose Hindutva do you trust more? I think what the Congress leader is saying is that that's not their politics. But Kamalnath may not agree. I don't know. What would you say?
Well, he has just, the Congress spokesperson has precisely demonstrated what this question actually was designed to state. Congress is apologetically Hindu. Kamalnath is unapologetically Hindu. That's the very fine line which we must understand. In this country, Barkha, I have said it more often than not, that you can very well win elections by being pro-Muslim. There are so many leaders, so many chief ministers who have won election with pro-Muslim image, pro-Muslim agenda. But in this country, you cannot win any election with an anti-Hindu image. That's a very clear thing. I think Mr. Kamalnath have understood that, and that is why he is picking up a line and length which is very different from his party. He knows if he wears his Hindu identity unapologetically, he can very much chart out his own territory that, okay, I am as Hindu or a better Hindu than Shivraj Singh Chouhan
I think both the politicians want to briefly respond to you. Pehle Pankaj, then Anshul. Pankaj ji, go ahead. Pankaj ji.
I think we should understand what is Hindutva. The definition which Yashwant is giving, we call it Chunavi Hindu. Or else you kept mum on the Hindutva issues. Where Mr. Kamalnath, when Digvij Singh was painting Hindus as Atangwadi, Bhagwa Atangwad, where was Mr. Kamalnath when Salman Khurshid was comparing Hindu Dharma with ISIS and Boko Haram? Where was Mr. Kamalnath when he was the part of the cabinet who says Ram Setu is imaginary, kalpanik hai? Tab Kamalnath ji kahan par the? That is the real face of the Congress party, and that's why we call them Chunavi Hindu. Let's talk about the Hindu. What is Hindutva? Vasudeva Kutumbakam, entire earth is our family. Harmony in all living beings. Praniyon mein sadbhavna, that is Hindutva, and that is the BJP slogan. Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas, Sabka Vishwas, and Sabka Prayas. Let's talk about corruption. They were in the power for 15 months, good enough time to take legal proceedings and actions. What they have done against BJP leaders, not a single step has been taken because there was no evidence. It was good to announce this in the Twitter, in the press conference or the TV debate. What you have done actually?
Okay. Just
give me 30 seconds. Just give me 30 seconds.
Okay.
There was a question in the MP Assembly when Kamalnath ji was CM, Jayawardhan Singh was the Minister of the Urban Development Department. It was about the Singh's so-claimed scheme. And what Jayawardhan Singh said, there is no scheme, everything was fair and transparent. And how much hype Congress has created, like they are creating for this Mahakal Lok. So that is the reality of the Congress party. When you are the minister, when you are the government, you are unable to take any single step without any evidence. It's good to say all this.
Okay, let me bring in Anshul, and we really need to move on then after that to the regions. And Upmita and Varun have also been waiting patiently. So Anshul, please briefly. Anshul?
See, what I've been saying is that this framing itself is wrong. ये जो हिंदू होने की जो बात हो रही है, जब दिग्विजय सिंह जी चीफ मिनिस्टर थे, तब भी हिंदू धर्म को लेके, गौशालाओं को लेके, या जो ये सारे इश्यूज थे, कल्चरल इश्यूज थे, उनका पूरा समय सम्मान हुआ. हमने कभी फेथ को वेपनाइज नहीं किया. और ये फर्क है, मैं नहीं कह रहा हूं, सावरकर जिन्होंने ये टर्म कॉइन किया है हिंदुत्व, उन्होंने खुद ने कहा है कि हिंदू धर्म और हिंदुत्व का कोई लेना देना नहीं है. एक राजनीतिक विचारधारा है, दूसरी आस्था है. आस्था और विचारधारा में फर्क करना बहुत जरूरी है, पहली बात. दूसरी बात ये कि it's not about whether you can be Hindu or see, it's a political identity which is being said and which is being created here. And I disagree with Yashwant ji's claim that we are apologetic or we are unapologetic. That again, it's a completely wrong framing. We have always respected the people's faith. We have respected the symbols and the cultural values, and especially in Madhya Pradesh, you go and take up any chief minister from the Congress tradition as well. It's never been like that. However, now because the country has been polarized, all these nonsensical binaries of Hindu, non-Hindu, apologetic Hindu, see, that's not the case. And on the ground, let me tell you that there are multiple issues which are including issues of farmers, including price rise, which are being targeted, which are being politicized, and on the basis of which we are going to the peak. So let's not get into these false binaries.
Let's at the moment agree to disagree, because otherwise the whole program will become about Hindutva, and there are a lot of other things to talk about in this program. I want to bring in Yashwant now to talk about the regions. Yashwant, if we can get Yashwant now up with the slides on the regions. Yashwant, when you look at, you said every region is behaving in a very distinct sort of way. This is, of course, the big picture. We need to get into the regions. Go ahead. I'll hand it to you, and we'll bring up the regions as you talk about them.
All right. I will just quickly start with the regions. I would like to see the Chambal first, because that is the region where, Mr. Jyotiradish Scindia and all the imports of the Congress have come in. This is where you see the Congress is sweeping that region. If you will look into the Chambal vote share also, you will realize that the gap has actually increased between the Congress and the BJP. So largely what has happened that, yes, there is a slight gain of vote share for the BJP by inclusion of Mr. Scindia, but the big chunk of the BSP and others vote has actually swung for the Congress, is swinging for the Congress. So Chambal is becoming more and more bipolar, and it is getting more and more in favor of the Congress.
How do you explain this this popularity for the Congress in Scindia's belt? Because would you then say that the voter does not like the fact that he switched sides? What are we seeing in this? How do we understand?
Well, there are two things. Barkha, there are two things happening. As the scenario is becoming more bipolar, a significant chunk of others' vote somehow is shifting to the Congress. That could be because of anti-incumbency. That could be also because of that demography of that others' vote is largely anti-BJP. Both the things are possible. However, much more importantly, I think there is a strategic issue as far as the BJP is concerned. And I am sure that even the BJP spokesperson must be thinking about it, is that when the imports of that Scindia faction came into the BJP lock, stock and barrel, BJP, which is a strongly organized party on the state, they are having serious problems and the local units as far as the local leaderships are concerned. BJP has very, very significant local level leaders right from the bottoms up in each and every ward and every mohalla and every village that they can think of. But all these imports of the Congress are creating serious challenge in amalgamation.
How do we understand the contradiction? I'm confused about one point. Your poll shows 12% people prefer Scindia as a choice for chief minister. But in the Scindia belt, the BJP doesn't do well. How do we explain
because
this?
Because Scindia's popularity is something which has been there. I mean, 10%, 11% popularity has been always there. It is not just within the Chambal region. And even without that, the thing is that if I am suppose a local BJP functionary and I have been suppose fighting against you, Barkha, all along my life, and all of a sudden I realize that you have joined my party, and then there is a problem. Because in the organizational structure, both of us don't fit in that party. I mean, it's a very serious issue. So even though he carries some of the goodwill of the people, particularly in that particular region, but the problem is organizational issue of digesting this entire import factor which has come to the BJP.
Okay, let's quickly look at the other regions. This is a very interesting thing we have from Chambal.
And by the way, the same thing happened in Karnataka as well. If you remember, we talked about this in Karnataka, about the imports coming into the BJP and having this issue. So yeah, this is a serious challenge for the BJP. The BJP leaders might or might not accept it on the camera.
Okay, let's look at Malwa now.
Malwa is BJP territory and they are retaining it. That's what I said, that on the whole of it, it looks like a neck and neck. But if you look at the regional areas, Malwa, Nimar, Bhopal, these regions to continue like a pro-BJP, strong pro-BJP territory. If you will see Nimar, you will see the similar kind of trend. If you will see Bhopal, similar. You can flip on the see the similar kind of trend line. Bhopal is almost like the opposite of what you saw the trends in Chambal region. So yeah, there are different regions. If you go to Bagelkhand, which was supposed to be a very, very serious territory for the BJP, but over there, I mean, there are some reversal are happening in that particular region. Mahakaushal still happens to be BJP, is still maintaining a upper hand in Mahakaushal. So 3 regions are going the BJP way and 2 regions are going the strong Congress way. One is kind of struck in the balance. That's what it is looking like at the moment.
Okay, Upmita, any thoughts when you look at this region-wise breakdown, in particular the Scindia factor? Upmita?
Barkha, actually the thing is, when it comes to Scindia factor, the BJP leaders who were who were actually from Gwalior Chambal area, the Guna area where Scindia's power is there. So what do they have been grown as a politician? Their politics was always against the Maharaj, against the Scindia, against the Mahal. So they are not able to digest that factor, that now they have to support that person. So that is very important factor in Chambal, and which is very much against BJP, and it is going to be the biggest challenge for BJP for whole of MP. As Yashwant ji said, that first is this Chambal area, and the other one is, I think, Vind. Vind is also going to be the most difficult seat for the area for the BJP. And the case is, they're they're here in BJP is usually we used to in MP, it was been the conflict was usually between Congress and its leaders. Now this conflict has been shifted to the BJP. That Scindia, the VD Sharma factor, the Narottam Mishra factor, and since last 3 years we have been listening that now there's going to be change in CM, there's going to be change in BJP Adhyaksh. So it is such an uncertainty.
That's such a reversal. I just want to pick up that last point you said and take it to Varun. That's such a reversal of roles. पहले हम मध्य प्रदेश देखते थे, आप कांग्रेस को कहते थे faction division, Digvijay, Kamalnath, Scindia. Now, I think what Upmita is saying is that factional fault line has shifted to the BJP. Varun, can you hear me? Go ahead. Yeah.
Actually, I can hear you. I was speaking. I was saying, that is what we see. Earlier, we would blame the Congress of the high command culture. Today, we see the same in the.
Okay, Varun's not having a good day with his connection, but if you want to just add to that, Upmita, and then I'll go back to the 2 political leaders. Yeah, Upmita? Yeah.
The only thing is, when organizational power is very important for BJP, and it's been its strength here in MP also. But this is the biggest challenge is this now, because they have been fractions in the party itself, they've been they're not listening. Everyone wants to be a CM. So that brings in, and there is no clarity from Delhi on this. They've been keeping it very uncertain for so long. Even if now, they every action of PM, every action of Home Minister coming to Bhopal is being calculated into a political.
I'm going to make a last attempt to get Varun to complete his thought briefly, and then I have to go back to Anshul and Pankaj. Varun?
Sure, because of the rains, the Wi-Fi connection are a bit wavy over here. But okay, as I was saying, what culture we used to see in high command culture, seeing consistency right now in BJP, where the in Delhi is calling the shots, maybe Maharashtra and Karnataka. And there are of local leadership, but at least in Madhya Pradesh, there are many leaders who can take over, and that is good. See Narottam Mishra's name popping up so often. India himself is sad. India is not expected. He's not able to bring any votes.
Okay, let me. I'm sorry, neither you nor Upmita have great connections, but I heard the gist of what you're saying. The Scindia factor, and I want to take that first to Pankaj ji, and then to Anshul ji. Pankaj ji, go ahead. Can we unmute Pankaj ji, please?
Getting my voice? Are you getting my voice?
Yes.
Barkha, I was saying, we should look at the 2018 election scenario of Gwalior Chambal. There are total 34 seats in Gwalior Chambal. It was 26 for Congress in 2018. Biggest dent for the Bharatiya Janata Party at that time. And it was because of Scindia ji. He was the probable face for the CM for the Congress Party, and the rest is the history you all know very well. Just come to the point. We are very much better in the entire Madhya Pradesh. Let's talk about Gwalior Chambal. It may be Mahakoshal, Malwa, Bundelkhand or Vindhya. And our strength is our organization. And actually, the Congress is a divided house. We must have heard the statement of Dr. Govind Singh, the leader of opposition, what he has said about the Kamalnath as probable face for the Congress Party. What is the opinion of Arun Yadav for the Kamalnath as face for Congress Party? What is the opinion of Ajay Singh, the son of late Arjun Singh ji, for Kamalnath as the face for Congress Party? What Mr. J.P. Agarwal, the in charge, has said, that it is not the Congress culture to project someone as Congress face. Let the majority should come, then our MLA will decide who is going to the CM. So why Mr. Kamalnath and their supporters, they are in bit hurry to announce himself as CM face? So actually Congress is a divided house, and that is their character. And we cannot forget Mr. Digvej Singh. He may be looking silent at this time, but he has his own games. And unless Mr. Digvej Singh is in the Congress Party, there cannot be unity in the Congress Party. He has a different mindset. It is the fight for the political ownership of the Congress Party as far as the Madhya Pradesh is concerned, between Nakulnath and Jayawardhan Singh, the son of Nakulnath and son of Jayawardhan Singh, and that is the real fight. And you cannot discard Mr. Digvej Singh. He has his own game. His motto is very clear. He want to project Jayawardhan Singh as the future of the Congress Party, while Kamalnath is interested in the Nakulnath. And so that is the biggest rivalry, which is still on.
Okay, let Anshul respond to that. Anshul, go ahead. Anshul? Can we unmute Anshul? Yeah,
Can you hear me?
Yep, go ahead.
Pankaj Bhaiya, you're a very good fiction writer and you should try your hand at fiction. It's good that Mr. Digvij Singh is giving nightmares to BJP.
Please, उनको बोलने दीजिए. पंकज जी कुछ बोलना चाहेंगे? आपकी तारीफ ही हो रही है शायद.
He's not praising me. It's not fiction. It is the reality of the Congress Party.
बोलने तो दीजिए पंकज भैया.
Just give me 30 seconds, Anshul. Then your turn. It is the reality of the Congress Party, and you see, Digvej Singh has joined Congress Party in 1971. Since then, he is the axis of this divided of the Congress Party. He has done a lot of damage to Congress Party, still doing. But it is Congress who has to take the call.
Can I reply?
Yes, please. Yes.
Pankaj Bhaiya, it is all fiction. Kamalnath ji is the face of the party. It's all done and dusted. You have to decide your candidate for CM. Will Mr. Scindia give up his ambitions? Yours is a divided house. It is very nice to see that Digvij Singh ji is still giving nightmares to BJP and RSS people. It is very soothing to people like us, number one. Number two, you see, see, as far as, Jayawardhan Singh and Nakulnath ji is a member of parliament. He is not actively claiming any top post or any portfolio for himself. And Jayawardhan Singh ji has been active in the state. So see, to be very honest, for the first time, Congress has unprecedented unity. We are going in with Mr. Kamalnath as our leader. Every leader's interests are aligned with that aim. We are coming back, and 5 months down the line, we have 44% of the vote. It's going to increase. It's going to become much more bipolar. Players like the BSP and the rest of the bit players are going to be wiped out, and we are coming back. It's quite simple. The less said about Scindia factor, the better.
Okay.
It's not a factor. Achha, one interjection that the last time it was not Mr. Scindia who swept the Chambal area. It was actually, there was a conflict between, there was a firing and there was a huge Dalit upsurge because of the firing that happened on 2nd of April, and that happened in that area, and that led to massive polarization of the poor and the Dalits in our favor, and that's how we won. So let's not fool ourselves that it was one man who got us the thing. It was not Mr. Scindia that got us that mandate.
Let Yashwant take that, but before he takes that, we need to look at the last set of graphics. And one is, Anshul spoke about smaller parties. What happens to smaller parties? And your survey put this question about the Aam Aadmi Party. Will the Aam Aadmi Party play a spoiler, and will AAP end Congress? And most people, or not most people, nearly 39% said no, but almost 42% said yes, and 20% don't understand yet. They don't know, and they said they don't know. But I have one other slide I want to bring up before I get you to respond. That is levels of satisfaction with the government. I found this also a little confusing, and I need Yashwant's help to understand. People were asked, are you satisfied with the performance of the government, right? And can we please have that slide up on our screen? Because this doesn't reflect, Yashwant, massive anti-incumbency at all. In fact, it shows that 68% are satisfied. Now, if we look at 68% of people polled, surveyed, being satisfied with Shivraj Singh Chouhan, how do we understand the sort of close contest that we are poised to see? How do we understand the advantage to the Congress that we're poised to see? Surely it can't come down only to the Chambal belt and the Scindia factor being unpopular there. How do we look at this finding of your survey?
Well, the satisfied numbers are split into two parts, Barkha. One is the fully satisfied, one is partially satisfied. Satisfied, or shall we say, satisfied to some extent. Fully satisfied is roughly about 40%, and approximately 25% is the partial one. Now, this partial one is always a dicey thing, Barkha. When the things go right in your favor, they work in your favor. But the things go against you, then these partially satisfied take moments to switch over to dissatisfied category. So, all in all, that 40% fully satisfied number is something which I would say that BJP should really bank on. That is the kind of threshold, or their threshold is there. And that is quite remarkable, given that 20 years of incumbency and you are maintaining 40% vote share. That is quite remarkable. However, there are distress signals in economy, on inflation, on the quality of life. I'm not even talking about organizational issues in Chambal. There is a very, very distinct trend of dissatisfaction with the sitting MLAs and sitting MPs who are non-performing, big number of them. And that should cause concern to the BJP, because eventually, it will come down to number of tickets they are going to be given again to the non-performing MLAs. If they can do away with that, probably that is going to help them.
Yeah.
But yes, I mean, good, bad, and ugly is that good that even if after 20 years of incumbency they are maintaining 40% plus vote share. Bad is that number of 25% which are partially dissatisfied or partially satisfied. And poor is the number of people who are saying that they are completely angry, completely unsatisfied with the sitting MLAs and sitting MPs. That should be the warning sign for the BJP.
Okay, that's an important point. And the other last bit that we want to look at is how people are so distinct about local leaders and national leaders. So, when you asked who is your choice for Prime Minister, there the Modi factor remains absolutely popular and ahead. So whereas it's a 1% difference in the choice for Chief Minister between Kamalnath and Shivraj Singh Chouhan, it's a very, very big gap between the Prime Minister and everybody else, and the Prime Minister and Rahul Gandhi. And I think this is a very important lesson for everybody to understand politics, that the Indian voter is able to distinguish between what is regional to them and what is a national election. So I just wanted to underline that. Time to take last comments. Varun, I'm not sure your line is working, but if you can get in a 10-seconder, do go ahead. Varun Singh.
I'm very surprised with what Yashwant has said. that last slide of his of satisfactory level in MP, if that is the case, then I remember during Gujarat election I had said Karnataka seems difficult for BJP, but MP BJP might swing and might shift, and as the election proceeds, especially with the freebies that the BJP is trying to copy of the Aam Aadmi Party and Congress, they might also have a luck in retaining the seat, and incumbency might not impact so much over there.
Okay, let me ask Upmita. Upmita, can we go back? Can we go back to the overall seats as Upmita gives her last comments? Yeah.
There's a fact. If you remember 2019 election, just before that, just 5 months before that, BJP lost election here and the Kamalnath government formed Sarkar here in MP. But what happened after 5 months? Like all the seats except one, Nakulnath, was won by BJP.
Yeah.
So this is the difference which has been established for the national and the local factors, which we are discussing here in the facts and the data.
Yeah, I think that's an important reminder. I remember the Congress winning Rajasthan, Chhattisgarh, and Madhya Pradesh in the assemblies in a very different result in the Lok Sabha elections. Anshul, last thoughts on everything we've seen? Anshul?
I think that the picture is quite clear. We are headed in for a comfortable victory. The people are, they don't agree with the way Mr. Chauhan got back into power. And Kamalnath ji is our leader. The BJP is a divided house and we are coming back to power. It's as simple as that.
Pankaj ji, it is as simple as that.
Ji and other one is Shivraj ji, and on the basis of this double engine Sarkar, we would be able to garner the 51% vote at every booth, which is our target, Abki Baar 200 par. That is the planning, and we will achieve it with the support of the common man.
All right, Yashwant, the big picture, one message for the Congress, one message for the BJP.
One message for the Congress that I think from the data, I feel like Kamalnath ji is playing very, very nice and correctly as far as his own agenda of Hindutva is concerned. And these things could go as advantage Kamalnath, provided he does two things. Number one, he ensures that his friend and colleague, Mr. Digvijay Singh, doesn't utter a single word throughout this campaign, and he just keeps mum, number one. Number two, he doesn't underestimate the organizational strength of the BJP. And Barkha, I have a great story to end your show on the organizational strength of the BJP, because I heard it from the horse's mouth, from elders in my family. It was in 1971, pre-emergency period, when, the opposition unities and other things were happening, and Mr. Ramnath Goenka and Nanaji Deshmukh, they were discussing what can be the critical thing, whether it is the face or it is the organization. Nanaji bet with Ramnath Goenka that it is the organization. Ramnath Goenka bet with Nanaji, can you make me win an election? Nanaji said that you come to me, I will take you, you sign the paper and you come and collect your victory paper after that. And that is the fabled story for your viewers to understand. Ramnath Goenka, the founder of Indian Express, on the challenge of Nanaji Deshmukh, went to Vidisha, filed the paper as a Bharatiya Janata Sangh candidate, and then he did not go back for a single day of campaigning, and he went back to take his winning certificate purely on the organizational strength. That was the bet with Nanaji Deshmukh, won with Ramnath Goenka on the matters that the organization matters in Madhya Pradesh, as far as Madhya Pradesh is concerned. So I think he should not take that thing lightly, and he should just pray that Mr. Digvijay Singh keeps mum.
That's a great story, but a message for the BJP as well before we close.
Message for the BJP is the same story. Your organization matters. If you will keep on importing people, your organizational things will go disarray, and then you cannot blame your own workers. You cannot blame your voters not to vote for him and vote for you if you keep on importing people.
It is going to be a fascinating election, no matter who wins. To borrow from Ravi Shastri, it's the game that matters, and the game is really evenly poised, which makes it an interesting game. Of course, Anshul thinks the game is not evenly poised. It's a clear win. Pankaj thinks otherwise, and that's the fun of it all. Thank you. Sorry, Anshul, you wanted to say one line. Can we unmute Anshul? Anshul? Hang on, I can't hear you.
On Digvijay phobia.
Huh?
We should do one more show on Digvijay phobia. I am the only one who does not have it here. Otherwise, the entire panel, I think, is suffering from it. That's why I think we're going to win.
We'll bring back Digvijay Singh also on this program and put this question to him. It's been fun talking to all of you. Pankaj ji, Anshul ji, Namaskar, Upmita and Varun. Thank you. And Yashwant, as ever, it's a pleasure. Thank you so much. See you everyone tomorrow. Thanks for watching.
Thank you.
It's great to see you here. Thank you for watching our work. If you haven't subscribed yet, don't forget to click the bell icon and subscribe to Mojo Story and support independent, robust journalism.